What happens when one of music's most celebrated legends sits down with America's most trusted weatherman, and a simple interview suddenly flips into complete chaos? You're about to see, because what took place on this morning's Today show was shocking from start to finish. The day at Studio 1A began like any other. Al Roker had just wrapped up his bright, cheerful weather segment and was preparing for what looked like a smooth celebrity interview. Chaka, 10-time Grammy winner and the undisputed queen of funk, had arrived to promote her new memoir. Her team had requested Al specifically, believing his warm and easygoing approach was perfect for the personal story she wanted to share. "Good morning. I'm Al Roker, and joining me is the amazing Chaka," he said with his familiar smile. "Thank you for having me." "Al, it's always nice to be here," she replied warmly, dressed in a flowing purple caftan, her iconic curls perfectly in place. The conversation started without a hitch. Al asked about her childhood in Chicago, her early time with Rufus, and what inspired her to write the book. Chaka answered openly, talking about her rise to fame and the challenges she faced as a black woman in the music scene during the 1970s. "Your memoir talks about some really difficult moments in your life," Al said softly. "You write about your struggles with addiction and how they affected your family." "Yes," Chaka replied, her voice lowering. "I wanted to be real. Too many people hide their pain. If my story helps someone move toward healing, then reliving those memories is worth it." "That takes real strength," Al said. "And in your book, you also speak strongly about the music industry and how it treated artists of color during your early years." "Absolutely," Chaka said, her eyes sharp with feeling. "The industry was built to take advantage of us. They used our talent, built their success on our backs, and left us with almost nothing. Many brilliant artists were destroyed by contracts that felt like another form of control." Al shifted slightly, noticing the shift in tone. "That's a powerful comparison. Control? It's the truth," Chaka said firmly. "When you sign away your publishing for pennies, when you're pushed to record songs you never wanted, when you're denied true control over your own art, what else can it be?" "I understand your frustration with unfair treatment," Al said carefully, "but calling it that might be a bit intense for some viewers." The atmosphere in the studio changed instantly. Chaka's expression froze. "Intense?" "Al, respectfully, you've spent your career in a field that supported you. You've never had your work taken, your earnings twisted, or your culture borrowed while you were pushed aside." Al raised his hands slightly, trying to calm the moment. "I'm not trying to reduce what you went through. I'm just saying there might be different words to describe it. Words that feel less heavy on a morning show." "Different words for who?" Chaka asked sharply. "For viewers who want to enjoy their morning without hearing the truth behind the music they admire." The studio fell quiet. Al glanced at the producers, unsure how to redirect. "Maybe we can move forward a bit," he suggested. "You've been working with younger artists. Don't dodge it." Chaka interrupted, pointing at him. "You brought up my words, and I stand by them. What matters is speaking honestly about how black artists were treated. Ignoring that truth is the real issue." Al's smooth tone began to slip. "Look, I respect your view, but this is a morning program. People tune in for positive stories, not intense conversations about industry problems. You think telling my truth is being intense?" Chaka's voice rose. "This is exactly what happens. The moment a black woman speaks honestly, she's seen as too emotional or too loud." "That's not what I'm saying," Al insisted, though his confidence wavered. "Then what are you saying?" she pressed. "Because right now, it seems like you care more about keeping viewers comfortable than listening to what I'm saying." Al's face reddened. "Chaka, I've done thousands of interviews. I know how to guide a respectful talk." "Do you?" she challenged. "Because right now, it feels like you're trying to soften my words to fit your show's comfort level. That's not respect. That's control." The producers scrambled behind the cameras, but neither of them noticed. "I'm not trying to control anything," Al said. "But when you make these kinds of comparisons, it becomes difficult to keep a meaningful conversation going." "Difficult?" Chaka snapped. "What's difficult is watching executives profit from my work while I paid to perform my own songs. That's difficult. That's my life." "That's not what I said," Al protested, voice strained. "I'm talking about how the issues are presented. There's a difference between sharing your story and making broad claims about the whole industry." "Broad claims?" Chaka laughed without humor. "Al, do you know how many artists from my era ended up with nothing? How many died broke while labels thrived? This isn't a broad claim. This is reality. I'm sorry that happened, Al said, leaning back. But saying things like that on national TV without full context is risky. Risky? Chaka's eyes narrowed. What's risky is sitting comfortably and calling me risky for telling the truth. That's what's unfair. That's not fair, Al said firmly. You don't know what I've gone through. You're right, I don't, Chaka replied. But I know you've never been told your natural look isn't appealing. I know you've never watched others earn huge profits from your art while you got nothing. And I know you've never been told to smile through your pain. Al's jaw tightened. You think I haven't had challenges? I've been targeted, threatened, harassed. Don't tell me I don't know struggle. Then you should understand why truth matters, Chaka said. Yet here you are trying to quiet me. I'm not trying to quiet you, Al said, matching her energy now. But there's a right time and place. A morning show about your memoir wasn't meant for this kind of speech. A speech? Chaka's voice jumped. Talking about my life is suddenly a speech? The moment something is uncomfortable, it becomes political, or too much. The tension in the room was heavy. Camera workers exchanged glances uncertainly. Look, Al said, rubbing his forehead. I came here to celebrate your career, not to get into a debate that viewers didn't expect. Your viewers? Chaka said coolly. The ones you protect from anything too real. That's not fair, Al replied. The show covers serious topics often. Safe ones, Chaka countered. Filtered ones. But when I speak honestly, I become the problem. The truth? Al said, shaken. The truth is you came here to talk about your book, but ended up turning it into an attack on me. Chaka stood up suddenly. I'm angry because after 50 years, I'm still fighting for the right to speak freely. Al rose too, though she commanded the room. If every talk turns into a battle with you, maybe interviews aren't your thing, he snapped. Silence hit the room. Chaka's voice dropped low. I've been doing interviews long before you were on TV. Al, no one ever told me where I belong. Al realized too late that he had crossed a line. I'm talking about keeping a healthy conversation. Not creating tension for no reason. Tension? Chaka said sharply. You think this is for show? This is my story, my hurt. And you're calling it tension. I didn't dismiss your pain, Al said quietly. I just don't understand why everything has to become a fight. Because my success didn't come separate from my struggle, Chaka said fiercely. You can't pull them apart. Fine, Al said, sounding worn out. But does everything have to be about struggle? Can't we talk about the good too? The good? Chaka let out a cold laugh. You want the success story without the truth. That's pretending, Al. I'm asking for balance, Al said. Something that won't upset people before we get to the happier parts. There it is, Chaka said, pointing at him. You care more about comfort than truth. Al's face darkened. Yes, I care about viewers. They want to start their day feeling hopeful. Not shaken. Shaken? Chaka thundered. 50 years of fighting for respect and you call it being shaken? She tore off her mic. You want the clean version of my story? You won't get it. Chaka, wait, Al said, panicked. Let's try to meet in the middle. Meet in the middle? She repeated coldly. That moment passed when you decided my truth was too heavy for your viewers. I respect you, Al tried. Your strength. Your gifts. No. Chaka stopped him. You respect the easier version of me. The moment I speak honestly, I become a problem. That's not true, Al whispered weakly. It is true, Chaka said. And the worst part is, you don't even notice it. You're used to black women softening themselves, and when we don't, you fall apart. The room froze. I hope your viewers enjoy their gentle morning, Chaka said calmly. But don't ask another black artist to shrink for your comfort again. With calm grace, she turned and walked off set. Chaka, wait, Al called after her. She didn't turn. He faced the cameras, shaken. We'll be right back, he muttered. Chaka Khan was gone, leaving behind a stunned crew and a host who learned that some storms can't be predicted or softened. What really caused this intense moment? Was it Al trying to guide the talk or something deeper? Hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts on what led to this unforgettable scene.